there's two important acronyms that I want to teach you that nobody else will teach you. It is a CPT code and an RVU. No one teaches you this. So, current procedural terminology and relative value unit. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, every single thing you do in the hospital carries a CPT code. Whether I take out an appendix, I see a patient in the ICU, or I do a bronchoscopy. So let's just use an example for critical care, which is 99291 for the first 30 to 75 minutes of critical care that I deliver, okay? And I have to document that. And to deliver critical care, a patient has to have an organ system basically that's failing. So the typical ones would be acute hypoxic respiratory failure, and the patient's on the vent, or they're in some form of shock state, and they're on some form of a vasopressor, or they're in acute renal failure or hepatic failure, or they have a traumatic brain injury. So these are all the common ones that I bill critical care time for in the ICU. So now this CPT code is worth a RVU, a relative value unit. So 99291 is worth 4.5 work RVUs, we call it. Now, why does this matter? Well, number one, as a resident, to graduate from residency, you have to log all your cases, and you need a certain number of each type of case. And every single case is a CPT code, okay? And then once you become a doctor, so if you saw my lecture on employed versus private, you just get collections, so the whole RVU thing doesn't matter as much. You just are going to collect a lump sum of money for your service, which is still based on your CPT code, okay? But in a hospital, if you're employed by a hospital, you may have some type of RVU incentive. So you may be paid then X number of dollars per RVU. So this is very important that you learn how to utilize this, because no one will ever teach you this, and this could literally be your entire livelihood if you're on that type of a contract. So me, I'm not. I get paid a base salary because I do a lot of administrative and teaching work. We still monitor each surgeon in our department's RVUs because that is indicative of your productivity.